They gave him the gun in New York, he was pretty certain, and he thought some money too. That had allowed him to stalk his prey across 8 states, often staying in the same hotels and riding the same train. Most importantly, though, they'd helped him hear the ghost once again. And the ghost gave the same command he'd given 11 years earlier. Only John hadn't the strength to act then. Today was different. John Fleming Schrank spent most of the afternoon in a bar across from the Gilpatrick Hotel, where he knew his target would eat dinner before motoring to the Milwaukee Auditorium to deliver a speech to further his unholy quest. A former bar owner himself, the Bavarian-born Schrank downed 6 schooners of beer, but felt nothing but calm as the crowds outside the nearby hotel swelled in anticipation of getting a glimpse of their hero. Traitor, he thought sullenly, the weight of the gun tugging at his coat pocket. Traitor and murderer. He paid the barman and crossed the street. It was close to 8, and light spilled from the hotel's windows. The air was crisp, so people wore long coats and hats pulled down low. Schrank was a portly man, round in the belly, with a friendly enough face dominated by a large, jutting chin. He had little trouble pressing his way through the happy throngs of people. How could they show such adoration, he wondered. Didn't they know the truth? That truth had come to him shortly after his target had taken office. It was the ghost's first appearance in a dream, a vivid dream that he'd never been able to shake. And now, with the help of his new benefactors, the dream had returned. Only this time his target had been wearing the robes of a priest, but it made no difference. Schrank recognized the usurper at once. Schrank looked around. People were practically giddy with the thought of seeing their man. The ghost had said their hero had murdered him by placing the Polish anarchist Leon Czolgosz at the Pan American Expo in Buffalo. The 2 shots he'd fired to the gut were enough to turn the man into the ghost of John Schrank's dreams. Schrank recognized a face in the crowd. It was the nice one, the one who listened to him. The other, the taciturn man who demanded and cajoled and demeaned, wasn't at his side as he'd been so many times before when he'd tried to carry out the assassination. This was the omen that tonight it would happen. He moved even closer to the front of the crowd, ignoring the sour looks of people who'd waited some time for their coveted positions. He felt the hard rubber grip of the .38 caliber Colt revolver deep in his overcoat pocket. He was close to the front row of people. The hotel's door was only a few paces away, and the open-top automobile, with its long hood and sweeping running boards, idled at the curb. "I can't believe I'm about to see the hero of San Juan Hill," a woman said to her husband a little breathlessly. "I hear he doesn't like to be called Teddy, but rather T.R., said another voice in the crowd. Schrank fingered the pistol. He couldn't allow him to have a 3rd term. No president had ever had one. George Washington himself had refused, fearing it would turn the presidency into a monarchy like the one America had fought to free herself from. John Schrank saw himself as a patriot, like one of the Minutemen, fighting against the tyranny of a man wishing to become king. The crowd suddenly erupted in a roar of wild cheering. Teddy Roosevelt came down the handful of steps outside the Gilpatrick and waved to the people who'd waited to see him, envious of the 9,000 awaiting his speech a short distance away at the auditorium. Roosevelt gave them a big-toothed smile, his eyes behind his rimless glasses alight with joy. His walrus mustache twitched. He mounted the car's running board and lowered himself into the rear seat next to his stenographer, Elbert Martin. Opposite them on the rear-facing seat was another aide, Harry Cochams. The crowd continued to roar and shake the air with their applause. T.R. gave Harry a knowing smile and got back to his feet, his top hat in hand, to wave once again to the people. They loved him for the gesture, and he loved them for their loyalty and support.